The EFWA enables women to enter the accounting profession and empowers them to achieve equal opportunities and equal rewards.
Good afternoon. How are you doing today, sir?
I am great, Robert.
Thank you for doing this. I'm excited.
I am as well. Thank you for the concept and the idea. You're a creative superstar.
Well, I don't know about that. I'm just bored and I like myself on the screen. So thank you very much. This is exciting. And I'm excited to talk to you. Blane, you've got a very cool background. Blane, I think you got your undergraduate degree in economics from Rutgers University. Is that correct, sir?
That is true.
And then your master's degree in accounting from the University of Hawaii.
At Manoa, that is true too.
Very, very cool. And Blane Rushak is the president of the KPMG Foundation and the PhD project. Is that correct, sir?
Also true.
And super active in the community. I'm not going to read it all because we would be here all day. But one thing I know you're super active, in addition to the EFWA, you're also super active with Beta Alpha Psi. So thank you for your service to the accounting community. You give a lot of your time, and that is really, really nice.
Love every minute of it.
Blane, I'm going to get right into question number one is how and when did you get involved with the Educational Foundation for Women in Accounting?
Robert, I was thinking back to when that actually happened, and I can't even figure out what year it was. It's more than 10 years ago. And truthfully, I met somebody that was on the board through a different organization. This gentleman said, "Oh, I'm on this great board. I'm the only gentleman where I'm looking to get some more, males involved. Would you be interested?" At the time I was in charge of recruiting at KPMG. So I said, it kind of aligns, women in accounting, I'm hiring accountants. So I said yes and showed up at my first meeting and found out that the individual who had seduced me into applying and going there had moved on to a new role in his job, was no longer on the board. So but once I met the women that were involved in the board, it was a no-brainer. Just so committed. They had been involved in the sister organizations that kind of worked with EFWA for years. And it was just amazing. These women, who could take very little resources and almost spin magic and wind up with these scholarships. So they hooked me in on that first meeting, and 10 plus years later, here I am, still on the board.
That's the pro move on a volunteer board, is to invite somebody and then exit left. I like that.
Yeah.
Question number two is, what is something that you enjoy or something you enjoy the most about being on the EFWA board?
I think what I've really loved about it is, number one, there's passion. And then we all talk about finding purpose in what we do. We're all finding it in our jobs and what we do. We're finding outside of work. And on this one, it's clear that everyone involved with the organization, it's all about how can we make the lives better for these individual scholarship applicants who are applying and trying to get that much needed kind of financial resource to help them do something that they wanted to do earlier on in their lives but couldn't for various reasons. So it's a goal that I'm very passionate about. I think that there are so many people out there struggling that want to make their lives better but just can't find the resources. And EFWA is just one way in a very specific niche market to say, how can we help women better themselves by getting this degree and then having a very active, healthy work experience, but also do something that they love doing. So just passionate about it, and being around, all the individuals, including yourself, who have brought, many great new ideas in terms of how we take that basic concept and make it better. It's just been very, very, fulfilling for me.
Blaine, I know you've spent a lot of time on the scholarship committee reviewing the scholarship applications. What's some advice for those women pursuing their accounting, undergrad, grad, or PhD that you would have for them, for those applicants? Because I know, and I've just reviewed a few, how high the bar is. So what's some advice you might have for those applicants?
Yeah, I think similar to most scholarship applications, there's the baseline things that are going to be looking for. So, did you show, if you've been in school in the past, that you had some aptitude, the learning component. But I think, at least when I'm looking at them, it's about, I'm looking for that same passion and purpose that I just talked about. How is this going to basically impact them in some way? And then when they get that degree, how are they going to impact others? So it's about the giving back, and how is this going to help change the direction of their life, or help better it? And that the passion comes through. You read what they write, you hear their stories, and you've read something, you read it and say, wow, this is somebody that we absolutely want to give the opportunity to maybe take a risk on, because sometimes the grades aren't there. They've had a really tough background, whether it was being a single mom or in a difficult relationship, and they've had to struggle through it. But you see when they write, the passion for how this is going to change their lives. And that's what I think EFWA is about. How do we take the scholarship money and help in our little way change people's lives?
You mentioned passion, and somebody watching this might also have a passion for getting involved or giving. And what advice would you have for those givers that want to find or maybe thinking about making a donation to the EFWA?
So great lead in with that word donation, Robert. Yeah, clearly we can only give out the amount of scholarships that we have money coming in for. So, I would say we're always out looking for, any donation possible. Many people do a set, monthly allocation or monthly amount that comes in. Some people do the one donation. Some people give, stocks, or, in their will leave money to EFWA. So it's many different ways to do it. But yes, giving is probably the first and foremost, because without the money, we can't give out scholarships. So the more we get, the more scholarships we can get. But there are other ways to get involved as well. We're always looking for people that are interested in reviewing scholarship applications. We put together, a committee to do that, and we're looking always for help on that. We're always looking for new life on our board. So if you really have a passion, for being on a board with this type of purpose, you can contact any one of the members and get information about how to be on the board. So there's opportunities there. Encouraging other people to apply for the scholarship. So once again, it's the viral part, sharing the word about EFWA has a scholarship. We're kind of the best kept secret, where people don't even know about it until all of a sudden someone says, hey, did you apply for that scholarship? So get the word out there about the scholarship, because we love getting the applications and, meeting the people who are able to give the scholarship to. So many ways to give to EFWA. All I ask is that you consider one way or another, because we really do, love the contributions and love the ability for people to participate.
Amen. Amen. Question number 5, Blane, last question. What's maybe something I should have asked about that I didn't? And what's your answer to that?
So, Robert, you didn't ask me why I've been on the board for 10 plus years. That's a long time to be on a board. And most people are on a board for a while and then they rotate off. And I have not. And I keep asking myself, well, why? Why not move on to something else? But I will say that what I love is the simplicity of the concept. We're not trying to be everything to everyone. It is just, in a nutshell, it's raise money to give scholarships to women that have a need or in some type of transitional opportunity in their life, but that money will make a difference to them. So I love the purpose. It's a simple model. It's okay, go out and raise the money to be able to do this. We're not, we don't have other distractions in there. And so the people that I work with on the board come to every one of those meetings, and they're all volunteers. So we run a very, very, tight budget. There's very little that we pay in terms of operating costs. Almost every dollar goes to scholarships, which is really important to me. But the volunteer board comes, and we have just amazing discussions about, not only the history, a very rich history of people over 50 years that we've been giving the money to, but what we can do going forward. How we can change the brand, how we can change the distribution of social media channels. Robert, you're one example of, you've taken us to the next, level of having, social media being a really important part of us, and the LinkedIn post, and these videos that are just really hopefully going to make an impact to get people more involved. So thank you to you. But it's people like yourself and others on the board that just keep me coming back for more.
Well, thank you, Blane, for the kind words, and thank you for doing this. It's been an honor to get to work with you. You're a very impressive guy. So I've learned a lot from being around you and the rest of the leadership at the EFWA. So thank you for doing this, and thank you, sir.
Well, thank you, Robert. And that reminds me, I need to go write my quarterly check to EFWA. So this has been a great reminder for me as a board member. So good for you, dual purpose. And thanks for hosting. Take care.
Well said. We'll end on that.